A lot of people are definitely copycatting the idea. I think, well, here's the thing. I think that there's been an uptick in aesthetic quality across the board since we've seen the Trump administration take over. This is not like entirely universal, but I personally feel like the output, like the creative output, the edits, like the imagery, the celebration campaigns and stuff, for the most part, like they've all gotten a lot better over the last like, oh, man, not even that long, like 6 months, maybe, 6 to 8 months. And I don't know, like whoever's running the DHS account is doing a phenomenal job. I don't know exactly where the impetus came from. I don't know if they were like, I don't want to say necessarily a fan of my account, but maybe like the one you mentioned, Americana Aesthetics, like that guy's really big. I don't know if like the people over there are just really big fans and really super plugged in. But they seem to be embracing this idea of like, here's what our culture is. They posted one just a few hours ago that was, it was like kids playing football out front. I can't remember which artist it was, but just like really nice, like traditional American scene, right? Looked a lot like my front yard on Thanksgiving growing up. Um, and I don't know like where that impetus came from, but it does seem to be embracing the idea of like, look, we don't have like America has a very defined culture, right? Like the American people are very like defined people. So when you come in and your social account is happy Diwali and happy, Yom Kippur and like all of these different things, it's like those are all kind of celebrating cultures that are outside of like central to American culture. And so what they're trying to do, and I really don't know for sure, like it could just be as simple as, they've seen the success, like the response to the right wing aesthetic and like the return aesthetic online. It could just be that they see it, and they're embracing it. But I think what the goal is to be like, this is what we're protecting, right? We're when we talk about like, I don't want my kids to grow up in India. I want them to grow up in America. And we look at a painting like the one that they posted earlier. To Americans, it makes perfect sense. Like it's perfectly logically consistent. Um, Whereas, when you're driving through your suburban neighborhood and there's a big celebrate Vishnu festival block party going on and people are banging drums and things like this, that's foreign, that's alien, right? Football in the front yard isn't. And so I think that's what they're trying to capture. And I don't know what I would love to see um, like an interview or some sort of deep dive on exactly what the process is there. But I think they've done a really good job. And I'm starting to notice too that certain departments, like the Department of State, I think is one. The Department of Energy has done a really good job recently. Where like they're starting to post these graphics that are recruitment graphics that look like, you know vintage propaganda posters and things like that. And it just feels like the game is kind of steadily being upped more and more. And there is, to your original question, sort of an examination of, all right, is it who's playing off who here? And like I wish I had a really deeply analytical answer to give, but I'm not sure. I just know that every time I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, great. We love to see it. We love to see embracing that kind of traditional American aesthetic from the government. I feel personally, as I'm sure the three of you do, represented by the government when I see things like that. It's the total opposite of happy Indigenous Peoples Day. You're on stolen land, right? It's like, no, we're not doing that. We're doing we're doing, this is America. We play football on Thanksgiving, right? Like this is what being American looks like. While Indian tribes, and they have their place in chapters of the history of the land and all of that stuff. It's like we're not going to sit here and make every message be about, shame on us, thank God for the amazing indigenous people of our land and all of that stuff. So I feel a lot more represented when I see these government, not just the organizations, but the people as well. Like we're starting to see that more and more. And I wish I could remember his name, but there's a politician from Florida who followed me recently, um, who's just like super aligned with that sort of aesthetic and is posting about not just the aesthetic stuff, but also the right phrases, right? Like America's for Americans, people not an economic zone, all that kind of good stuff. So I love to see it in the civic sector. I think a lot of it is the right messaging. I think you can kind of tell when people are being inauthentic or trying too hard.